Hey everyone, Stephen, TheSalonGuy here, and today I've got an awesome tutorial for you guys. I'm bringing it back to, gosh, when I was first getting into grunge music back in early 90s. Finally, it's here. I've been getting lots of requests over the last several months, but this is the Kurt Cobain inspired hairstyle. This is when he had his hair a little bit longer, but I have gotten lots of requests for it, so I'm ready to go. Let's get started. Alright, so the Kurt Cobain inspired haircut, I'm going to bring you guys back kind of to the grunge look. If you do wear your hair longer, this is definitely a cool look for you. So don't be afraid to bring it back to the grunge days. So Kurt always had kind of like a side part, almost, not like right in the middle, but not over to the side, but kind of right around here. But what I want to do first is I want to establish the length, all right, of where we're going to cut this. So I want to keep this a little bit longer in the back, and the whole haircut's going to be more of a texture type, haircut with a lot of, that kind of grungy, lived-in feel. So everything I'm going to kind of, pretty much point cut into it. So the first section, and it's going to be right in the back, I'm going to take all the hair just like this, and I'm just going to simply point cut into it. And that means I'm using the tips of the shears and pointing into the length. I'm not cutting it straight across. And what that's going to do is that's going to give us more of kind of like a broken up line throughout the bottom, so it's not so heavy, not so solid. Okay, so let's do this throughout the whole back of the head. And then once you're done with this, if you can pause the video or you can keep going, and then we'll be ready to work on through the sides. But basically take everything in one shot and just chop the tips into it with the point of the scissor, and then you'll be done with the back. Alright, so I brought this up a little bit higher in the back here, and here we go. So it's about right below the neck in through here. So now we're going to bring this into the sides, and what we're going to do is we're going to continue this line the same exact way. So we're going to pick up where we left off, and again we're going to point cut into it just like that, and we're just going to follow this all the way into the front like this, and in through the very, very front. What we're going to do is slightly angle this up a little bit. Okay, so we're creating a little bit of a face frame, and we're just slightly cutting upwards, right in the very, very front, right in kind of this area right in through here. Just ever so slightly, we're going to comb this forward like this, and just cut upwards like that, just to create a little bit of a shorter look right in through here. So this falls probably about the chin area and through here. Alright, now let's do the same thing on the other side. We're going to comb this straight down. We're using the wide teeth of the comb, so it adds a little more softness to the whole thing. And again, we're just point cutting like this, and we're going to work this in through the sides, and then finally again into the front area. And here's where we're going to start to just angle this up just slightly a little bit. Okay, and you can do that simply by just taking this side here where you just cut before, and then use that as a guide so you know exactly where you need to cut and how long it's going to be, so it's pretty even. Okay, then this side here, just bring this down towards you and cut using the point of your shear just to create a softer edge like this. So basically now we have an outline, we've got our length, and we've got pretty much the shape that we want through the exterior. Now we're going to go ahead and start to do the layering. Alright, so the layering, what we're going to do is we're going to take a section right in the back of the head like this, and we're going to slice right across with our comb so we have a nice straight section right here. Okay, this is our first section right into the back of the head. Let's bring this up a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Okay, here we go. This is the back, kind of like the top back of the head, first section. What we're going to do now is we're just simply going to point cut and cut straight across like that. Alright, so it's not straight this way, but you're point cutting into it. Now we're going to take another section right below it. We're going to slice through it again with our comb to create a nice section, and we're going to bring it straight up like this. And now again, we're going to point cut into it just like this. That means is when you close your shear, when you pull away like that, you're not closing your shear as you're going into the hair, but you're closing it as you're pulling away. Alright, continue to do this throughout the whole back of the head. Let me just turn the head around this way so you can see a little bit better. You might have to split it in the middle so you can have a little more balance, okay? And it's not too much hair, but what you're doing is you're combing the whole back section straight up, and then what you're doing is you're simply point cutting into it, alright? And you'll see your guide underneath. Then when you get, you don't want to go all the way to the bottom because there's probably not going to be much hair to cut, alright? So you should be done with that one side on the left, then you can move to the right, alright? And if I'm going too fast, just simply stop the video or pause the video and do one side at a time. Again, bring it straight up find your guide, and then point cut into it, like that, okay? So I'm just gonna finish this up here, and then we'll be done with the back. All right, so I just finished bringing everything straight up this way, and now what I wanna do is I just wanna make sure I can connect this down to the bottom to make sure it's all blended in, it's not too heavy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna point cut this way, just like that. And that's gonna kind of soften this up in through at the bottom here. So I'm combing straight out, and you know, it's really all just like freehand like this, okay? You're just looking, it's all visual of where you want to texturize and blend this in. But you will see that the hair is a little bit longer in some areas, and that's where you chip into it. Okay, so you want to use the point cutting technique throughout the whole, pretty much the whole head. But you can see there, it's a little bit longer. So what I'm doing is I'm just simply point cutting and blending this in. You're gonna do this throughout the whole back of the head, into the corners into here, combing it right towards you. And now we're gonna go to the other side. All right, so we got the middle pretty much taken care of. Now the left side of the head's done, and now we're doing to the right side, combing it straight back. And there's the hair that's a little bit longer. And again, I'm just point cutting into it just to soften it and blend it in. So I'm just gonna finish this up, and then we'll be ready to move in through the top. All right, so I'm gonna recut this piece as our first piece right through here. Well, now we're gonna basically use that as our guide. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a panel right down, pretty much through the middle here, okay? And we're gonna then take a section that is just before ahead of the one that we took in through the back, the top back of the head, okay? And you'll be able to see, there's your guide right there. So now what you're gonna do, again, point cut into it. Bam, that section's done. Take another slice from the top panel, comb it straight up, all right? Comb it straight up, don't be worried about being perfectly neat. You know, you wanna be neat, but again, this haircut is kind of a more grungy, textured haircut. All right, so it's still okay to be a little more rugged with it. All right, and here's the last section right in the very, very front. Again, just point cut into it, and this is the last section throughout the very, very top. Now we're ready to go in through the corners and the sides. Let's do this all in one shot. All right, here we go. Combing it straight out from the head like this. All we're gonna do is just point cut like this, again, just to kind of blend this in and soften it up. Do that all the way right through the corner, the sides, going from the top to the bottom here. All right, there we go. There's where it needs to be cut. Point cut into it, just like that. Bring it all the way to the bottom of the side here, right above the ear. And there you go. You don't want to cut too much. You don't want to really cut the length from the bottom, but you're just blending this in, okay? There's the excess length right there. Here we go. Coming in over the top and point cutting into it to create a more jagged and kind of lived in grungy look. And one more section right here. Comb this straight back towards you. Over direct just a little bit. And we're just gonna slightly just trim that like that. And now do the same thing on the other side, okay? If you want to do this together with me, we're on a roll here, so let's keep going. Comb it straight out now. Now we're in the corners, all right? This is where we're blending in the top into the sides. Point cut into it. Comb it straight out now. Now we're right behind the ear, all right? There's the length right there, and here's what needs to be cut. Take a slice here from your previous section. Comb it straight up, all right, or straight out from the head. There's the corner that needs to be cut, and there's the bottom part needs to be blended. We'll take two more sections, and then we will be almost pretty much done with the whole thing, okay? And here we go. The final section in the very, very front. Again, just slightly cutting and blending, point cutting this in, right throughout the bottom here. And there we go. So guys, the haircut pretty much is done. What I want to do, since I have you all, you know, we're on a roll here. If you want, you can take your shears. All right, take your shears right here, which you just were cutting with. Bring all the hair forward like this. All right, bring all the hair forward. I'll turn the head a little bit. Bring all the head forward this way, and we're just gonna notch into it just a little bit like that, okay? I'm not going to go too high and not too low, just kind of right in the middle. Comb everything forward and just create little notches like this into it. That's just going to create a little texture, all right? A little added texture and some little additional layering. It's going to just break it up a little bit, okay? And the back here, do the same thing. There we go. And we're just going to slightly just point cut into the whole back like this. Alright? Do that on this side, and then we'll pretty much be done and good to go. Alright, now for the blow dry, what we're going to do is basically we're going to blow dry the whole thing, but we're going to use our hands and just kind of like give it a rough kind of scrunch look like this throughout the bottom here. Okay? And you want to have, again, the kind of lived in feel like this. You could use a surf spray, you know, any sort of like sea salt spray works really well for this. You can spray it when it's wet, or you can spray it when it's dry and just kind of scrunch it a little bit. Alright guys, here's the finished look. I'm just going to spin this around, show you guys. Here's throughout the back here. Again, if you want to use some sort of like surf spray or any sort of, you know, like a sea salt spray or something, that will work really, really well into this. And this is pretty much the Kurt Cobain inspired look. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I really am happy that you guys sent the request for this over the last several months. Well guys, thanks so much for watching, and you know, I hope you all enjoy this Kurt Cobain inspired haircut tutorial. If you're more of the new generation and you've never heard of the band Nirvana, you definitely got to check Nirvana out. I mean, one of my favorite bands still today, and back when in the 90s, early 90s when he came out, and Kurt Cobain was a genius with his music. So thank you all for watching. You know, please like the video. It means a lot to me when you like the videos. Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe. And a special shout out to Alexander Technique, who remixed this song, Smells Like Teen Spirit, that Nirvana made back in the day. This is his remix. So I'm going to take it away with his song. But thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all soon for more tutorials with the Salon Guy.